I'm Jeff Coots. I'm the Senate Majority Leader for Jackson Independent, and these are two Senate members, Matthew Coots, the senior, and Jarrod Coots, the junior member. And then they're going to discuss what we did actually and will implement this year at Jackson City School.
So basically, we started working with communication to help promote student voice. We purchased 3 TVs and put them in high traffic areas throughout the school. That way we could display certain sporting events or tests or study sessions that are coming up like later throughout the week. We also worked on getting a student-based superintendent council, but it didn't work out too well because we had 3 different superintendents and they had different schedules, and it just didn't work out too well. So we also had a student leadership team, which was based from 11th and 12th grade, and they worked and did community service like throughout Jackson. Some of the things they did food drives, mentoring, fundraisers. They also did a promotion for college and career readiness. They had college nights and stuff along those lines. And this year we did a survey through Google Forms, and we used this question. Do you believe having a student representative on either the school-based decision-making council or Jackson Independent Board of Education would help student voice? Jarrod will now discuss the results.
So here are the top 10 results that we found were the most important. 80% of the students feel that their teachers care about them. Approximately 80 feel that their teachers explain things multiple ways. Around 80% of students feel that their teachers accept nothing less than their full effort. Around 60% of teachers make learning enjoyable at a school. 60% of teachers make learning enjoyable. Around 70% of teachers feel that their voice is heard, affecting the classroom. Approximately 50% of the students enjoy coming to school, which can affect attendance. 1/3 of students believe that the students are treated differently based on their wealth. Around 80% of the students believe that they could count on a teacher or other staff in the school to help them. Approximately 60% of the students believe that their voice is being heard in the school. And around 90% believe that there should be a student on the site-based council or board of education. And
Well, don't have to do that. As you heard, though, truthfully, the big question, as they did the Google Forms survey and they went through the data and analyzed it, was that we need student voice. And student voice is major. And if you've heard anything at this session, you've heard a lot about students. And their voice is important. It impacts how things are done in classes, how districts purchase items and things like that. But the big thing is how do we move forward and how do we make voice more important? That last question that was on this, and we actually used 3 different forms to pull data from. When we looked at that, we thought, what about voice? What about students? Should there be a student voice on the site-based council or on the Board of Education? And we believe it is. And also based on the survey, and we actually surveyed, I think it was 167 out of about 180, which is 90% of our population. 90% of them felt that way. And that's major. So if you want to have impact in your school, you have to listen to student voice. But to go on with that, our plan for this year, Matthew will talk about.
So some of the things we've been doing are safety awareness campaigns, such as when the solar eclipse was a big deal, cyber safety and not texting and driving. More importantly, bullying. We have something called the Ripple Effect. It's an online program that focuses on social needs of students in middle school and stuff like that. And we also have something called the antivirus program, which is where like adults mentor 8th graders and people in middle school and help them with their issues. There's a peer student and staff awareness group where they all work together and like discuss things they think could be improved. And we have a big focus on getting a student on the SBDM or Board of Education. We've been working with the principal, and we've gotten ideas from other districts to see how that's been done. So we've also been working with the leadership team to promote safety, student voice, leadership activities, and college and career readiness. Okay, and finally, we hope to promote student voice throughout our district this year and want to continue to do this through communication by making a major focus on getting a student on the SBDM or Board of Education.
And then just to finalize, some of the things that we're looking at purchasing this year. Right now, as Matthew had said earlier, we have 3 TVs in our district. We have one at our principal's office, one in what we call our breezeway, which is by our gym. We have one in the high school, middle school wing. And then this year, we're looking at putting another one of these TVs inside our elementary. And again, when these kids see their faces or hear things that these guys are doing, it promotes that voice. And it has been very successful. I can give you just a quick thing that we've actually had people in our community come up and ask us how we're doing this, and they're actually purchasing it for their businesses. And also, maybe like we had a senior citizens home guy come in and he said, hey, how can I do this? And it's very simple. So we look for simple things to use because we don't want to overwhelm these guys, and they can actually maintain the whole system from one machine. And that makes it easier when you can manage four TVs throughout the district. And you can put that content specifically for elementary, middle, high, or for the whole group to see. So, any questions? Yes, sir.
You all have done, I like that, having a student on the site base. Have you talked to other districts that do have students?
There is a Vivian Carter, I think, make sure, she's at Hazard. They actually have a student on the Board of Education. Yes. And she's the one lady who actually implemented the process, well, the student senate member. She's no longer there, but they wanted to continue that process. She was the one that implemented that. So, like for us, that's who we're going to contact to get more information because she was very instrumental in that. But the other thing is we're looking at other districts. The one thing that I heard was a lot of districts put a student on the board, or they were trying to, but I think the biggest area may be on the site base because that's decisions that are made inside the school. That's their biggest voice or advocate. And I think the one thing that we had heard through some of this, I think we actually posted some things on the holler to get some feedback, was that there were people sitting in there, but they were just sitting there as information. So like if you've ever been at a site-based council, here's the council itself, but then here's an individual sitting over here. They're just listening, and if they need to talk. We want more than that. We want someone on that council. Now, is it a voting member or anything like that? Maybe not, but someone to sit at that table so that their voice is heard. And then the process, as he had talked to her principal about, because she's really interested in pushing this, is that we're not just going to select any student to go ahead and do this, because it's not that. We don't want anyone there. We want someone there that cares. And so they will actually go ahead and apply for the position, and then they'll have to go through an interview process too. And then we may get 3 that make that and then have student vote who selects that person. So those are big things that we look at. But yeah, when we look, and I'll point you out to the holler, the student senate one, because that's really where we're trying to get feedback, but we're also in contact with some other districts too. Any others? Thank you.